On the other hand, Eurydice warned me that George isn't usually kind, and should I accept his offer, I will end up in debt to the Duke. Yeah, I was kind of expecting that, yeah. Because he's a strategist, so we just don't know what he really wants. I'm going to see what it is. Alright, I accept your kindness. It's not kindness, girl. Good, have a seat, please. He pulls out a chair for me. I sit down at the table and give the food a good look. I notice George glancing at my hands. The first matter to address is that you should remove your gloves when eating. Is that so? I didn't know. Yes, it's impolite to partake in an official meal with gloves on. It is true, and yes, even in the old days, it was considered very unpolite for you to be eating with your gloves. You would have to take them, and many times you would even like put them in here, like in your lap. George also takes off his gloves. What is it? No, nothing. Please continue. When it comes to how much you want to eat, you should neither eat too much nor too little. At the last ball, you nibble on your food. Such behavior isn't polite towards the host. Not just towards the people who prepare the meal, but in the case of an official ball organized by the Empress, it's unpolite towards her as well. Yes. Oh no, It's okay as long as you're willing to learn. I'll teach you what you need to know. Okay. This part you already do correctly. When you eat, you should bring the fork or spoon to your mouth instead of lowering your head towards the food. And then, as to the exact posture you should hold during the meal, may I? Yes. George adjusts my back and my arms gently to show me how to sit. Like this. All right, I understand. Now, what's the correct spoon for the soup? He gestures to the table where far too many utensils for one meal are laid out. I extend my hand to take the biggest spoon. No, that's not right. It's not? You should eat with a small spoon. Ah. Now, which is the correct fork for the salad? I hesitate only for a moment before grabbing the fork Penelope approved of last time. That's incorrect as well. But Duchess Penelope played a trick on you. No. It's unfortunately true. Don't be disheartened. Let's continue. Yes, let's see what else there is to learn. As we reviewed more and more of the rules of the Empire's table manners, I start to relax, and so does George. Eventually, we finish the whole meal in the correct way. I watched George eat and copied his movements as best as I could. And those are all the basics you need to know. If you review everything I taught you as soon as you return to your family's guest apartment, you should be able to recall most of the lesson for tomorrow. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful for your help. I don't know if we are grateful because we still don't know what he wants. I can't have the Saintess, one of the most important people in the Locaris Empire, be belittled for not being a proper noble. Thank you. More importantly, I don't want you to panic again. You noticed? I saw the condition of them during my time as a general in my soldiers. Decreased field of vision, trouble breathing, body shaking, wanting to bolt like an injured animal. I recognized all the signs in you during the last ball. I'm sorry I couldn't follow you out into the gardens. It would have been unpolite of me to leave the dining table. I understand, so I made that big of a blunder. Your behavior won't win you any favors, but I fully understand the need to get away. You've been burdened with a huge responsibility, expected to fit a grand image people have created in their heads of you. I know how that feels, and I don't want you to suffer further. We've all been formally invited to tomorrow's ball by the Empress, so we cannot skip the event. That's why I thought I'll help you gain more confidence so that you won't be as frightened. I really appreciate your kindness. You said you've seen a lot of suffering on the war front. Maybe he'd like to share some of his burden with me. Oh yes, I have seen quite a lot of suffering. War injuries, loved ones dying, towns burned to the ground. The desperation that comes from not being able to stop the advance of the Demon Queen's army. The lack of hope that grows because the Golden Bow has still not chosen the Saintess. There's nothing we normal people can do to defeat the Demon Queen. And as long as she doesn't fall, the war will continue, and with it, the destruction of everything we hold dear. The Duke's words sound so dark and ominous, but I suppose war is terrifying that way. Soon you will go to the warfront yourself and see the destruction. You'll fight demons, you'll comprehend what vile creatures they are. You'll understand that soldiers sometimes have to make difficult choices, and perhaps you'll end up having to make difficult choices yourself. The Duke looks at me for a minute, and the more I gaze into his eyes, the colder my heart becomes. It's like his gaze could freeze me to the core. A shiver runs down my spine. Suppose you were faced with the following dilemma. The lives of both of the Crown Prince and your best friend are in danger, and you can only save one of them. Whose life would you choose to preserve? I would actually choose the prince. Yeah, you might be like, you probably will be like, oh, but the other person was your friend. Yes, but the influence on the people that the prince might have might be more important. Okay, like we tend to be too much emotional and egotistical when things like these situations happen in your life. Of course, you want to save your friend. Your friend is the person that is in there for you, and you know, in good and bad times. But imagine in a situation like this, that person is your support, but maybe the prince is the support to a lot more people. Okay, so we tend to be very egotistical during these moments, but we need to be more altruistic in our thinking. I need to think about this for a moment. Take your time, but remember, in the face of battle, you would have no time to consider the options. Yeah. Yes, I understand that. If the Crown Prince died, then the continuity of the Empire's succession would be broken. The Empress has no other child to take the throne. She's also been reigning long enough that, according to Locari's Empire law, as Eurydice once explained it to me, she'll soon need to pass the crown to a successor. Well, of course, if the prince was like a really bad guy and stuff like that, would be like a good monarch or something, you would probably choose your friend. Yeah, I mean, you also would have that in count. In the face of a broken succession, the empire would be weakened. And we're in the middle of war. I'm sure the Demon Queen would take advantage of the chaos. On the other hand, if my best friend died, Eurydice, I imagine, whom I've truly grown to love like a sister, how could I live with myself? If I had to make a fast decision to protect someone, would I be able to make the right choice between Eurydice and Noah? Would my body move on its own to protect Eurydice, even despite Noah's importance to the Empire? As I said, I would choose the Crown Prince. Because I have like, I know people really misjudge me on this, but I have like a way of thinking of things, which is sometimes you need to sacrifice the things you most love for bigger things than you. And this is very hard sometimes for people to understand. But it's the same thing of like asking me, you have like this virus going on in here. Would you prefer for people to continue getting along with everyone, or just confine the people in there? And I'll be like, oh, you need to confine them. But then they are not going to see their children and their family. Yeah, but you have a situation in there that could put a lot of more people at risk, like. So in situations like that, I'm always like, I cannot be narcissist. I need to think in a more altruistic way, And I did not do this for Noah. No, I didn't. I would choose the crown prince. I wouldn't want the succession of the throne to be broken because it would throw the empire into chaos. We can afford such a difficult situation in the middle of the war. That's the logical reason, but deep in your heart, I know I would also detest myself if I didn't protect Noah. A world where he's not alive would be painful to live in. I don't examine this feeling because right now George is watching me with scrutiny in his gaze. What about your friend? I would hate myself for not protecting them, but my duty to the Empire would take precedence. So you are that loyal to the crown. I just don't want the Demon Queen to have any advantage against the Lokari's Empire. Like, the thing is, imagine, it's not the situation in here, because Noah doesn't seem to be like that grand of a prince, but but imagine that saving your friend would actually just save your friend, but saving the crown prince could save a lot more people, because we would continue to be in battles and that prince would bring more armies to actually continue to defeat. Do you understand? Like, sometimes we have grandeur things that they are actually more important than our egotistical ways of thinking. Of course, a friend is always a friend and all of it, okay? I see. Was it easy for you to make your choice? Not at all. Well, that is what war is like. You can relax now. I only wanted you to see that you might have difficult choices ahead of you. We all have in our life too. Point taken. When George's smile returns to his face, my body does indeed relax. Phew, I only now realize how difficult this conversation has been for me. Is this what Eurydice meant when she said that George is not always kind? I think I've told you everything that I wanted you to learn. Alright, I'll see myself out then. Thank you again. I curtsy and walk towards the Okay, go back. I curtsy and walk towards the conservatory exit. When I turn around in the doorway, George continues to smile at me. I nod and take my leave. The time until the ball passes by like a blur. I practice what George taught me with Eurydice. Soon I find myself seated in the throne room between Duke George and Duchess Penelope again. I take a good look at the cutlery. I think I remember which piece is correct to use for each kind of food. Penelope has a smirk on her face, but I turn my head away and look at George instead. He gives me a small nod. The Emperor starts the dinner, and I take small bites of the food on my plate. I use the correct forks and spoons. Penelope gives me a side eye, clearly disappointed. When she finds no fault in me, I relax listening to beautiful music. In no time, the dinner's over. Say, Saintess. When Lady Penelope strikes up a conversation with me, my breathing quickens again. What if I say something wrong? Lady Celeste, would you like to dance with me? I turn my head in the other direction to see George standing next to me with a kind smile, his hand outstretched for me to take it. If I dance with George, I can avoid embarrassing myself in a conversation with Penelope, a conversation that the Empress, who is nearby, may overhear. The only problem is I can't dance. Maybe George will be able to lead me through the dance, though? Then I remember it would be a slight to refuse him when he so publicly asked me to dance. All eyes at the table are on us. Yeah, that's another thing. It was something very hard to deal with, which was if a gentleman would actually ask you to dance, and it was like in this way, publicly, you could not refuse it. You would have to accept it. Maybe you didn't know about this, but it is true. But at the same time, I want to confront Penelope. Even if I say something wrong again, I can't run away from facing her. Let's dance with him. I swallow hard. It's good that at least, you know, he's cute, but because imagine like a really old guy that you freaking hate would just come and ask you to dance and you could not refuse, honestly. And it happened like quite a lot of times during the old days. Yeah. I swallow hard and take George's hand, getting up from my seat. Unless you would just like say, oh, I'm feeling very indisposed or something like that. Like imagine you would just be like, I'm very indisposed. I'm really sorry, you know, like, in that way. Otherwise, you could not refuse. You just, they could not refuse. With pleasure. George leads me to the center of the ballroom. He gives the band a small wave, and they change the music to something more suitable for dancing. You worry so hard, your thoughts are etched on your face. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll lead you through the dance. Don't worry, just leave everything to me. We take a starting position, and George gently moves me through the dance. I follow his lead. The motions are repetitive enough that I find myself relaxing.
I wanted to talk to you again. In the privacy of dancing, I can ask you more than I could at the table.
Oh, but he has an accent. I don't know from where he has an accent in there. Maybe more in the north? He has an accent.
You want to talk to me?
Yes, I do. First, I'd like to praise you for your etiquette skills. They have improved tremendously. You still lack confidence, but you didn't make any obvious mistakes tonight.
Oh, he has an accent.
Nothing any other noble at the table could scorn you for.
I'm glad.
You still need to improve the way you converse with nobles. But that'll be more of a process to master if you want to put effort into acquiring the skill. Good communication isn't something you learn overnight, after all.
I like his voice, though, but he has an accent. I still don't know from where in Britain, but he has an accent.
I understand. I really...
Yes? What is it?
I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's because of you that I got through the meal without embarrassing myself. You didn't need to help, but you did. You're the kindest person I know.
She's so innocent, so naive. I don't think he's just doing this for, like, getting nothing back. I really don't think so, because he's a strategist. I have no doubt this guy is a strategist. The song ends at that moment. George bows to me, takes my hand, and guides me gently back to the table. When I sit down, he leaves to take another lady to dance. The rest of the ball passes by eventfully. I strike up conversations with some noble lords and ladies, and thankfully manage not to embarrass myself further. Eventually, I redirect my attention to practicing horseback riding. Let me come with you. I'm sorry, Levi. Horseback riding is a skill that Celeste knew well, so I need to practice it alone. If you saw me struggle to ride a horse, you would figure out quickly something is off about me. And in 2 weeks' time, I will have to be in the saddle daily once we head out to face the Demon Queen. I need to figure out how to keep myself on a horse like a confident rider. Yeah, that's also like another thing, which is like Maybe another thing that you may not know, but riding a horse, it really hurts in your ass. I'm not even joking. It really hurts. Yes. We had a horse in our farm, but I never wanted to ride the horses. But that's me. I never want to ride the horses because I feel pity for them. I don't know how to put it. I feel really pity for them. But if you do, even for some hours, if you're not used to, your ass is going to really be sore. Not even joking. It's strange enough that I'm leading the horse out of the training grounds instead of riding the animal out of the stables. I don't want anybody to see how I'll struggle with mounting the animal. On the other hand, if Levi helps me practice horseback riding, I'll learn it much more quickly, which would be a tremendous benefit. I'll just need to convince him that I've forgotten how to ride. Okay, I'm not going after Levi's, so say you will practice alone. No way, I've spent most of my life riding a horse on the Dequary's lands. I want to be alone during my rides. I need to gather my thoughts. There was on the Dequary's lands. The area around the mansion is safer than here. What could happen to me in the fields around Saintess? We're far from the warfront. There are other dangers around than just demons. Brigands? Is it brigands? I'm not sure. Brigands. I would say brigands, sorry. Wild animals. I have the golden bow with me. Let me protect you. If you don't want to take me with you, then at least take someone else from the party. Levi, you're overstepping your boundaries. I said I want to ride alone. Stay here and train. All right, understood. The hurt look on Levi's face yanks at my heart, but there's little I can do to make the situation up to him. Without a teacher, the process of learning to ride will be very hard, but I have 2 more weeks to learn the basics. I'll pray to the God of Light to help me if I have to. I'll be off. I lead the horse out of the training grounds and into the city. I continue walking until I leave Saintess through the western gate. The horse I've picked is the mildest, kindest creature I could find. She calmly walks beside me the whole way, not complaining that we are not galloping. Only when I'm in the fields outside the capital, I do dare to start figuring out how to mount the horse. The process isn't easy, not at all. I've fallen my butt several times, but I don't give up. When I'm finally in the saddle, I jump down and continue practicing mounting and dismounting until my behind is one huge bruise. You're the real Saintess. I pat the horse's back. She's been looking at my efforts with curiosity, but hasn't seemed bothered or hindered me in any way. You have the patience and resilience of a real Saintess. Whereas I'm just a fake, a pretender. But I don't want to be a pretend Saintess. I want to embrace everything it means to be the chosen one. Before the sun starts setting, I lead the horse back to the royal stables. Levi is waiting for me at the training grounds. He looks me up and down and frowns. Did you fall off the horse? Several times, Levi, but no, I can't say that. My clothes are dirty from the contact with the ground, though it's obvious I fell at least once. Yes, but I didn't break anything. Are you sure? Shouldn't we see a priest? I'm fine, Levi. Let's go back to the apartment. I'm tired. I want to rest. I have trouble falling asleep, my whole body aching, but I'm far from done with my training. I'm going to probably save one more time. On the next day, I again forbid Levi from coming with me to my horse riding practice. He's still not happy with my choice, but he can't openly disobey me. I continue practicing mounting and dismounting. I bring some apples to thank the horse this time for putting up with me. She munches at them while watching me fall on my butt. The next day blurred together as each morning I take the horse into the west fields of the capital for more practice. Once I'm somewhat secure with mounting and dismounting, I practice staying in the saddle while the horse moves. Through sheer will of wanting to survive, I slowly learn what it means to ride a horse. My 2 weeks of practice are only interrupted by another trip to Eastern Solace with Elijah. For the visit to the slums, I again take Levi with me. There are more patients in the field hospital today. The war front started moving towards Solace a month ago. The refugees from Barwood, the town that was swallowed by the marching demon horde, recently arrived in Solace. Luckily, many managed to escape death. They marched towards the capital on foot for weeks before finally reaching safety. They arrived hungry and in dire need of medical help for festering wounds, barely patched up by the few priests who survived the attack. They were met with the sight of Solace beyond the wall. The truth of the environment they would have to live in from now on hit their resolve hard. Is there anything I can do to raise their spirits? Yes, give them hope as the Saintess. Hope is the commodity that's least in supply in Eastern Solace. If you don't mind, Celeste, could I seek out Cherry and Lily again? Sure. So we're going to continue with Elijah, right? For the rest of the day, I wander between the cots talking to the patients. Even though at times I don't really believe I can defeat the Demon Queen, I push my doubts aside. I pretend that I'm sure of my skills at yielding the golden bow, that I'm sure an arrow I shoot will fell the Demon Queen. I make the refugees believe there's hope for peace, and in the process I come closer to trusting in myself. I spent the last week riding the horse at a steady pace, getting to know the area. I'm still far from a great rider, but I think I'll be able to stand the journey to the Demon Queen's castle now. Before I know it, all the time I had left until we embark passes, and suddenly I have to pack for the journey. Linda is the one doing the packing, but Eurydice is in the room too. You should take another pair of pants. Noah told us to pack light. We will have only 4 wagons of provisions and some luggage. I can't take too much with me. Besides, I will be in my Saintess outfit throughout the journey, something about being the beacon of hope to the party, a symbol of our victory. But you won't be uncomfortable? I learned to ride side saddle because I already knew I would be traveling in my nun clothes, which don't have pants. Okay, she did the side one. Okay. I'll be okay. If you say so. Later that day, the party gathers on the training grounds. Noah takes a head count of everyone. It's actually harder to do it on the side, because after some hours of you riding like that, your muscles really start to feel it. The party consists of 20 people: Noah, Tarek, Levi, and 5 other knights, 3 mages, 5 archers besides myself, Elijah, Gareth, and 1 other healer. I am actually finding it weird that we are not taking George too, since he's all into like the war and all of it. It feels like a small group for such a grand quest. Still, the Empress seemed disinclined to budge on the number of people allowed in our party or on our deadline to leave for our journey. I can't change the situation though. I've done the best I could. We ride for days. Only when we're close to being out of sunlight do we stop to make camp. I'm so tired from traveling at the end of each day that I immediately collapse as soon as I lay out my bedroll. Fortunately, I'm exempt from the night watch. Noah wants all my focus to be on the fights as the Saintess, so he needs me as well rested as possible. We don't expect to be attacked by demons this far away from the front line, but you never know. The demon who attacked me near the Quarry's mansion wasn't supposed to be that close to the capital either. After another few days of riding, my back and butt are sore. Yeah, especially like if you're side settling. It's yeah, that is like for hours and hours. That is something. But I finally feel myself getting used to the motion of being in a saddle for many hours. That, or I'm so tired that I just no longer care about the pain. A week into our journey, I've seen so much of the beautiful Locaris Empire countryside, which is vast pastures and fields and lush forests. It's late April, so we observe farmers plowing the fields in preparation for the seasons, as well as planting potatoes and other vegetables. Wheat is already growing in scattered patches. I ride alongside Levi and converse with him so that the time passes by more quickly. It takes a few more days to finally get used to being in the saddle for long stretches of time. The other members of our party grow more comfortable on horseback too, and as we travel further and further from the capital, I start hearing more chatter amongst everyone. As the next week passes and we get closer to the front lines, we encounter our first demons. The flying eyeballs, or so I've heard the soldiers call them. There are several swarms of the creatures ahead of us. Their wings flap and their scorpion tails slash through the air, their mouths open to show snake-like tongues. They are almost cute. Dodge! Beatrice, a mage I got to know during one of our conversations at camp, shouts when the demon's eyes suddenly launch beams of red light towards me. I fall to the ground and the beams pass by, just missing me by a hair. Pay more attention to the battlefield, Saintess. Easy to say when I have no experience with real combat. I stand next to Beatrice, who has prepared the ball of water at the end of her staff and is now firing blasts of water at the eyeballs. She hits one of them directly, wailing the fiend drops to the ground. Is this really your first proper fight, Saintess? It is. I will support you then, and so will the melee combatants. She gestures to Levi and Noah, who are now taking care of the other two eyeballs that attacked us. All you have to do for your part is fire the bow at the eyeballs that are flying too high to be taken down with swords. Also, don't forget to breathe. Only now do I take a deep breath. Alright, noted. Let's fight then. I take an arrow from my quiver and nod it into the golden bow. I draw a steadying breath and shoot the arrow at the eyeball flying at the top of the swarm. I miss, but the way it avoids my shot allows me to learn more about the movements of the creature. When I fire another arrow, I hit the fiend and take it down. Yes! Great job, Saintess. Beatrice has taken down 2 demons in the time it's taken me to fell one. But comparison is unnecessary. From what I've heard, she's a traded soldier with previous war experience. If I gain more experience here on the battlefield, maybe I'll become as proficient as she is. But first I have to survive long enough to become good at combat. So I push my fears aside and fire an arrow, then another. After a while, the fight is over. Noah looks around at our party and breathes a sigh of relief. No losses on your side. Great job, everyone. The party cheers. Phew, what a fight. Still, as my adrenaline rush subsides, I suddenly become aware that my arms and legs are shaking. I take a seat with my back to a nearby tree. Are you alright? Levi runs up to me and kneels beside me. I'm not hurt, don't worry. I'm just a bit overwhelmed by the fighting. If there's anything I can do to help. No, Levi, I just need to get used to real combat with enemies rushing at me to kill me. I'm not a trained combatant like you are, or at least I wasn't until all the training I recently completed. All I've done before is hunt prey for sport, prey that didn't fight against me with claws and rays of magic from their eyes. We're going to encounter a lot more demons on our journey to defeat the Demon Queen. There's no time for me to mope around, but I can't stop myself from shaking. I'm sorry you have to go through this. If I could do anything to lessen your burden, I would. I know. Thank you, Levi. I can't be weak. I have to fight, to keep fighting. Everyone expects me to kill the Demon Queen. I have to stop being afraid. I know why the situation is so hard for me. I grew up in peace. I never had to consider fighting in a war, especially not against grotesque demons. I have to accept reality though. The life I had on Earth ended. I died. I belong to Celeste's world now. I get up from my seat, taking Levi's hand. When I look around at the party, I see the priests healing the wounded. Even though I think we should make camp early, we continue traveling. By the end of the day, I'm exhausted. As we continue moving over the next week, we fight even more demons, the encounters increasing in frequency as we near the front line. We pass by contingents of the armies from the Locaris Empire and Durandal Kingdom. We exchange information and find out we are nearing Bardwood, the new location of the front line since last month. I remember Elijah's mentioning that the refugees from Bardwood had recently arrived back when I last helped it out in Eastern Solus. Nobody has yet sighted the Demon Queen in any of her forms on the new battlefields in the last month. We pass Bardwood the next day, and the sight of the destroyed village brings sadness to my heart. Even so, we continue advancing to Clermont. I prefer to say it in French. It's easier for me. Clermont Castle, where Levi's party fought against the Demon Queen in the book. We'll arrive at Clermont Castle the day after tomorrow. Be ready to engage with hordes of demons. The town in front of the castle has been overtaken by hundreds of fiends. We'll be entering the real battlefield now. Noah gives us instructions on how to fight as a party. We'll divide into 4 formations, and everyone will be assigned a specific area to defend. I'm in the same formation as Noah, Levi, Elijah, and Petrus. We're the core of the party, the most important team. Noah, Levi, and Petrus are tasked with protecting me as well as fighting the demons. Elijah is there to provide healing should any of us get injured. We all confirm that we accept Noah's orders. Today, I'm not as tired as I usually am. I glance around and notice the serious expression on everyone's faces. Is there anything I could do to help cheer up our group? What if we throw a party? To throw a party in here. I could maybe hunt down some game with the golden bow. No, wait, I don't think I know enough about hunting to manage that by myself. What's on your mind, Celeste? I'm thinking we should have some fun to help improve morale. How about we throw a party with some real food instead of the hardtack and smoked meat we usually have for rations? That sounds like a good idea. I can get the archers to come with us so we can hunt down some fresh deer. Are you sure you want to go? Yes, I agree that a party would help everyone focus more on our upcoming victory and less on our recent brushes with death. Levi goes to chat with the archers by their tent. A man and 2 women agree to take part in our small plan, or so I assume, when I see them grab their bows. Each of them goes into the woods in a different direction, and so do Levi and myself. I don't actually know how to hunt, but I couldn't have admitted that to Levi since Celeste was an excellent huntress. So for a few hours I just fumbled through the woods. I don't manage to bring anything back with me, but Levi and the others don't question my lack of game. They say that it was difficult to find any animals due to the nearby presence of demons. The others at camp cheer up when the fresh venison starts cooking on the campfire, and the heavenly smell reaches their noses. People gather around the fire, chatting excitedly. Levi and I change into more comfortable clothes. The others decide to remove their gear as well, switching to more casual outfits. Levi takes out his lute and plays a few notes. I've completely forgotten that Levi is musically inclined. The novel mentioned in passing that he sings and plays the lute. I'll get to experience his singing for real now. That's wonderful. Noah sits down next to Levi, drinking from a cup. He's also changed clothes, though his outfit is still plenty fancy. It's great to see everyone relaxing. I turn around to see Elijah behind me. He's changing his clothes as well. He looks good out of a priest's robes. We can't be doom and gloom all the time. Some fun is required now and then to keep our sanity. Is it now? Elijah trails off, looking to the side with a thoughtful expression. I want to ask him what he means, but Noah suddenly waves to me. Celeste, come over here. When I look back at where Elijah was standing, he's already gone. Wander off to the side of the camp where Gareth and the other priests are opening a tall bottle. Did they bring alcohol with them on the quest? I suppose it's alright to drink from time to time. I approach Noah and Levi instead. When I come close, Levi starts singing a song. It's a happy tune, folk music about a party of adventurers who have fun solving people's problems by killing demons. I sit down on the other side of Levi. Noah nods at me with a smile but doesn't say anything, and I keep quiet too. I don't want to interrupt Levi's singing. Levi has a wonderful voice, calming and fun to hear. I keep feeling like I keep saying the names of these people constantly during the narration in here. I don't know what's going on, but it's like, and Noah and Levi and Levi and Levi and Noah and Elijah and God, like I'm really feeling it like a ton. Some members of the party start clapping to the rhythm. Others move in a dance. When the meat is ready, Tarek slices it up and serves everyone. We eat and drink, chat and laugh. Later, Levi continues playing the lute and sings as people dance more. It's a happy time, a memory I'm sure I'll look back on with fondness later. At some point during the party, Tarek approaches me with a bright smile on her lips. Yeah, there's a lot of like putting the names of the like it's a type of construction of the script, but there's a lot of emphasis on just putting the names to relate to the situations in here. And after reading for the time that I've been reading, you start to feel a bit, actually you have a lot of that in the Japanese games, because they tend to use more the names than actually using like the pronouns. But even in here, I'm feeling like it's used in a very excessive way. After you reading it for like, I don't know, maybe I'm reading it for 3 hours already, you start feeling like you are spelling the people's names like constantly from sentence to sentence, okay? How are you faring, Saintess? Better now? I noticed you seemed in low spirits after the fights with the demons. Thus, fighting demons get easier with time. You get used to combat eventually. There are just a few types of demons, and you can quickly learn what to expect from each of them. Yes, I think fighting gets easier with time. I'm going to share something personal on my own with you. Please don't tell anybody I said this. Of course. As the leader of the palace guard, I fight humans more often than demons. I think combat against demons is easier than fighting and possibly killing a fellow human. I hope you'll never experience the need to take a person's life. Oh. Tarek's words make my blood freeze when I realize what she's trying to convey to me. I understand. Some demons have humanoid forms. Make no mistake though, no matter how much they resemble humans, they are not like us. They only want humanity's destruction. Why do demons detest humans so much? Nobody knows. One day, 20 years ago, the portal to the demons' realm opened on the Lokari's Empire eastern border. Demons pulled out of it and brought carnage to the easternmost towns and villages. Demons speak their own language. Nobody knows what they say to each other when they communicate with each other. They use no writing words. All attempts at learning their language have failed. Only the demon queen can speak the human tongue. How did she learn our language? Some say she gained the knowledge by eating humans, which also gave her the ability to take a human form. Ah. The demon queen has no humanity either, though. She's the vilest of the fiends. There will be many more fights with demons ahead of us as we near the front line. We'll get more experience killing the enemy and eventually grow more comfortable with battle. Don't worry, Saintess. We'll protect you. All I have to do is stand at the back of the formation and shoot arrows. I feel like my task is easier than yours because I'm not a frontliner. No one else can do your task. We are here to make sure you're able to complete it. I'll do my very best. Thank you, Tarek. I feel lighter now. I'm still not sure if I can get used to killing demons, but I know I need to do my part. It's okay to feel lost, Saintess. If you ever feel afraid again, seek me out. I'll provide my support. Thank you. After my conversation with Tarek, I returned to the celebration. Looking at everyone's dancing, singing, and laughing lifts my spirits further. We may be going on a grand quest, but that fact doesn't mean we have to be serious all the time. The sky is ashen with smoke from the burning houses of Glumont. Demons of different terrifying shapes are flying above the rubble. We need to push through the ruins of the town to reach Glumont Castle. We all confirm our understanding of Noah's orders. Then we get into our planet formations. I take a position at the back of my group next to Beatrice and Elijah. Noah and Levi take the front. I glance over to the other groups. Noah has organized them similarly to ours, an archer, a caster, and a few frontliners for each party. Clear the road to Glumont Castle. Formations 1 and 2, you're going first. Formations 3 and 4, you'll follow after the first two groups. Clear the path. I'm in the formation 3. Noah has us wait a few minutes before we move deeper into the Glumont. The first two formations have already cleared the path, but demons pull between our groups and theirs, landing on the ground in a flap of wings. To clear a way for all of our groups towards the castle, we'll have to put up a fight. I grip the golden bow more firmly and take an arrow out of the quiver. This is no time to be afraid. We have to break through, and I have to do my part. A devil blocks our path. He's a humanoid demon with a whip made of fire. He waves the weapon around in front of himself, making low guttural sounds. I swallow hard. The fact that he's so human-like is unsettling. I remind myself of my conversation with Tarek at the campfire. The demons are not humans. Advance! Noah gives the order. Our formations get into fighting stances. The frontliners, Levi and Noah, run up to the devil and engage him in a melee. A swarm of flying eyes appears above the devil. These are a better target for me. I could harm the fighters with my arrows if I shoot at the humanoid demon while they are fighting him. I aim the golden bow at the fiend. I think about what Elijah told me about accessing the golden bow's magic. Could my shot become more powerful if I use a light magic imbued arrow? I thought that the light magic of the bow was reserved for defeating the demon queen. But maybe I'm wrong and the extra power can help us get to the castle. It's worth a shot. I take a deep breath and close my eyes, focusing on the light magic coursing through the golden bow. I pull a thread of that white light towards me and direct it into the arrow. The arrowhead glows. Whoa! I've done it! I managed to pull the magic into the arrow properly. I feel like my hold on the holy power might slip anytime, so I quickly aim the arrow at the flying eyeballs, remembering what I know about their movement from earlier fights. I shoot. I hit the flying eyeballs at the top of the swarm. The demons burn in the white-hot fire of the holy magic, letting out a squeak of pain. Noah turns around and gives me a smile. Good job, Celeste. Thank you. Ah! Just then I hear a soul-tearing cry from Patrice. When I turn around to find her, I see a devil has sunk its claws into her stomach. Patrice! The devil twists his claws deeper into Patrice's body. Ah! The sight is gruesome, but I can't take my eyes off of my companion. Oh no, she told me to pay attention to my surroundings. And yet I focused so much on myself that I didn't realize a demon was near her, and now... Noah runs up to the devil and impales the fiend with his sword. With an inhuman wail, the creature falls to the ground dead. Patrice's body slides to the ground too. Noah catches her before she hits the pavement of the street. Ah! She spits out blood. Patrice! Elijah runs up to Noah and Patrice, enveloping the water's mage's form in white light. After a moment, the light dims. We all look at Elijah with confusion. Oh, she was already dead. There was nothing he could do. It's too late, yeah. The realization that we've lost Patrice hits me like a wall of bricks. When I look at her eyes again, the light in them has dimmed. Noah lowers her eyelids. She is dead. Is it my fault? Rest in peace, Patrice. You will be remembered as a great fighter. Tears well up in my eyes. I hug myself. But there's no time to cry. As soon as the demons notice we are not paying attention to our surroundings, they swarm us again. But we won't join Patrice on the other side, not today. We fight even more fiercely than before. That woman had dreams much like I do. She wanted to help defeat the demon queen, and now she's gone, so quickly, in a single movement when I wasn't looking. We continue making our way through Clermont, getting closer and closer to the castle, but each fresh victory feels sour. An hour passes, or maybe 4. Time flows differently when you're fighting for your life. I'm terrified and tired, but the real battle hasn't even started yet. We finally regroup with the other formations in front of the castle gates. Along with Patrice, there are others who did not survive. Matthew, a fighter from the first formation, has fallen. He wanted to rebuild his village so much once we defeated the Demon Queen and returned from the quest. We've also lost an archer from the second formation, Veronica. She was the one who hated demons the most out of all of us. They had slaughtered her whole family of 9. These brave people wanted to defeat the Demon Queen with all their hearts, and now they won't have the chance. But we will carry out the task, keeping in our hearts that dedication to the fight. There's also Part3. I will forever carry the burden of her death. If only I had been more vigilant on the battlefield, she would have lived. We're going inside. The gates to the castle courtyard are open as if welcoming us. We walk through the courtyard and open the heavy castle doors. We continue down the corridor. The place is so quiet that it's eerie. No more demons attack us. Why is this place so quiet? There are no demons around. The corridors are so empty that it's eerie. But I feel watched. It's as if a heavy presence can be felt in the walls, the ceiling, even the floor. Could be a warding spell put into the structure of the building. What's a warding spell? It informs the caster if others enter the specific area where the magic has been cast. So the Demon Queen already knows we are coming. It's quite likely. We are entering a trap. She wants us to come to her. It's possible she's keeping all her forces in the throne room, which seems to be right at the end of this corridor. We can't just walk into a trap. Do you see another way? We need to find the Demon Queen to slay her. Can't we lure her out? She'll use other kinds of dark magic to make us come to her. She could even twist the warding spell into one that'll compel us to go forward. So we have no way to turn back now, do we? I fear the time to retreat has passed. The only way is forward then. Everyone, be ready to enter combat as soon as we breach the throne room. I want to stop Noah, but I understand as much as everyone else that we can't run away now. We can't possibly die either, though, can we? I've trained so hard to be ready for this moment. A few steps later, we enter the grand hall, which now serves as the throne room of the Demon Queen. There she sits on her throne, a smirk on her face. She's a beautiful woman, but she's unmistakably not fully human. Horns protrude from her head, and there's a third eye on her forehead. She swirls her long tail in the air, her leathery wings flutter. She's as gorgeous as she's deadly.
You've arrived. I've been expecting you, Saintess.
Her voice is enchanting, pulling me towards her. There must be something magical about it. I would never want to come close to this monster of my own free will.
Get in formations.
There's no chance you just want to quietly die, is there? I would appreciate not having the chosen of the God of Light in the way of my conquest.
You vile demon! Get ready to perish!
I wasn't talking to you.
She glares at Noah, forming a ball of pure dark energy in her hands. Noah commands everyone to take positions and advance. As Noah, Levi, and the other melee combatants run into the room, the door on the opposite side of the hall bursts open and a swarm of demons pour in. I take my spot at the back of the fight and ready the golden bow. I hesitate for a moment. If I kill the Demon Queen, will the other monsters stop fighting? It's worth a try, isn't it? Let me save, because I don't know. I can put the first one. We can go to the second, but I could put the first one. I aim the golden bow at the Demon Queen's heart. I take a few deep breaths, doing what I can to steady myself. The Demon Queen notices I'm aiming the weapon at her. The confident, amused smirk returns to her face.
Let's have some fun, shall we?
I do my best to remember what Elijah told me about accessing the golden bow's light magic.
Don't fail me.
I try to gather the power in the arrow. The golden bow resists me.
Not now!
There's red magical energy gathering in the palm of the demon's queen's hand. She's not looking at me, but at Elijah. I welcome her being distracted. I'm as ready as I'll ever be. I let the arrow imbued with light magic fly at the demon queen. Just then, she releases the bolt of magic in her hand at Elijah. When she glances back in my direction, the arrow is almost at her heart, but she suddenly waves her hand in the air, and the arrow's magic disappears. It bounces off an invisible shield and clatters to the floor.
No!
Disappear from this world, you demon.
Just then I notice a bolt of light magic coming from Elijah, aiming straight at my heart. There's an aura of red magic around him, and his eyes look so far away.
Be a good puppet and kill the Saintess for me.
No, Elijah! I'm not a demon!
I move to the side to dodge his magic, but the bolt's trajectory changes. It's following me.
He likes being around you. Oh, isn't it fun to use the one who's interested in you against you?
No!
I take a few steps back, but Elijah's bolt of light magic keeps staying locked on to me. The bolt runs straight through my chest.
Celeste? Why are you... I did this. But... I didn't want to.
Elijah drops his staff and falls to his knees in front of me. Life is slowly escaping me through the wound in my chest, where I've been pierced by Elijah's magic. I didn't know that light magic, magic capable of healing and subduing demons, could also be used as a deadly weapon against humans as well. What is so warm and pleasant can kill too. Elijah is crying, tears streaming down his cheeks.
I thought this time would be different.
This time? You thought this time?
Why? Why have I?
I want to ask him what he means. Yes, this time. I want to ask him what he means, but I can't bring myself to speak. Speaking, breathing, even looking at him hurts so much. I don't blame Elijah, but I lack the strength to reassure him.
No.
The Demon Queen's ominous laughter is the last thing I hear before I slip into the darkness. I'm in heaven again, floating in the comforting, cotton-like substance. I lost in combat against the Demon Queen. I can control the golden bow properly. And now the Lokari's empire will have to wait for another saint, if there's even a chance another one will come forth. I'm not in a physical pain anymore, but my heart aches from regret. The fight against the Demon Queen is no longer mine. I'm dead. I won't be able to save anyone. But they said that we were going to enter into a loop kind of thing, didn't they? I was not remembering about that, but now I was like, wait. They said something about the loop. Maybe that's why Elijah was kind of like telling us again, this time or something. Yeah, he said something. I'll miss Elijah and the others. The heavenly sound comes forth in the quiet of this space again.
You must fight on.
Who does the voice of this guy? Why do I feel like the angelic voice is back? What? I just died. My fight is over. Before I can protest further, my soul gets pulled into the golden whirlpool again. I close my eyes, becoming dizzy like last time. When I open them again, I find myself in front of the golden bow in the chapel, my hand touching its cold surface. The pain from the bow's light magic entering my body is excruciating. I faint before I can even scream. As Celeste experienced, death is not the end of the Saintess' journey. Will you be able to rewrite her fate? Thank you for playing the Saintess of the Golden Bow. Okay. Yeah, because I was kind of like feeling like we were at the ending of probably like the story, and this is just a demo. And I was like, what? We are already going to kill the queen, and this is just a demo? So what's going to happen after? But then when he said that thing of like again, and we would die, and I was like, oh wait, maybe it's the looping kind of thing. Okay, I'm seeing it. Okay. What do I have to say? I didn't enjoy it the most the text box. I already told you that. I feel like when I don't like very much the text box, I have a lot of issues. You already noticed. I have a lot of issues reading when the text boxes are not good for me. I always feel that. Like I start staggering here and there because it's not feeling comfortable for me and my eye and the processing of the translation in my mind too. So I would say that I didn't find like the text box to be like the best. That's a picky personal kind of thing for me, because I think the frame and everything was okay. There's nothing for me to talk about. I also didn't really like it, Elijah's sprite, but that's also a picky personal kind of thing. One of the things that I actually like, I wish we didn't had to repeat the name so constantly. Also, I felt that there was a little bit more narrative than I wanted it to be in there, but yeah, sure. It was okay, just a little bit more than I would like. One thing that I kind of liked was the choices in here were that kind of choices where you can actually understand if you are going to favor someone or not. And Otome games a lot of times have like choices where you don't even know if you are favoring one or the other. Okay, like it has a lot of that. And sometimes those choices that you kind of like feel like, why should this type of choice matter for me to be with my guy or not? It's kind of like a bothersome, it's a hassle, to deal with. So in here, I actually thought it was good. It was okay. In terms of like the general thing, I would not say that it is really my cup of tea. It's not. Honestly, I played it. We played it in here together and all of it. But for me, I didn't felt like any of them were like really my type. And I didn't actually felt that engaged inside of me to actually make this something that I really probably want to continue playing. But once again, this is my own, I'm talking to you, this is like my own view of the demo and the game in itself. But I feel like a lot of people are going to actually like it and enjoy it, okay? So this was just my observation, my personal opinion about it. But yeah, it was It was really okay. I'm going to leave, as usual, I'm going to leave the link in the description for you to play the game if you want. It's still not out, it's just a demo that we have. And that's it. I hope tomorrow I'm going to bring you another one. Okay? So thank you very much for being in there, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.